Hi, thanks for joining us. It's Nicole Eggert and Dave Palais here with Perfectly Twisted.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You look like you're all. I feel kind of. I guess like a scrub. I'm just wearing a t-shirt and a hat. You look like you're ready to go start the day. Are you? You got some meeting scheduled that you're leaving as soon as we say goodbye?
Um, Not in person. I do have a lot of Zoom stuff. I don't know. Sometimes I just, it's easier to put on as easy to put on a cute shirt as it is to put on a t-shirt. And some days I don't know. Sometimes I just get dressed. Sometimes I walk around in the morning, and like every time I pass by like my dressing room area, I add more shit. And I don't know, it's just something I kind of do. I don't know.
You know, it's funny you say that. And you have a daughter that lives on the East Coast because people do dress different depending what part of the country you are. And so when I moved to the South, I lived in Nashville for 9 years as a kid. I remember all of a sudden the clothes my mom bought for me were different. You know, as a kid in LA, I was, a pair of short shoes, you're just out and going, grab a hat. Now in the South, you don't wear a hat indoors. You never do.
Bad manner.
It's
Yeah.
bad manners. And it's also, disrespectful to swear in front of women or children. They still go by that rule. You just don't do it. You can cuss, you just don't do it in front of women and children. And I remember when I moved back to Los Angeles for high school, Nicole, I was about 2 days in and I said, if possible, I will wear shorts and a t-shirt every single day because I can. No more collared shirts, no more dress shoes for services, any of this stuff. I'm wearing shorts because I can. And there's nothing like Southern California. That was my
Yeah.
move. Just that
I
was
mean,
it.
I've worn flip-flops in the rain here. It's because it made more sense because I didn't want to
Yeah,
get any of my good shoes wet. So
it does make sense. I never thought
you
of
know,
that, but that does make sense.
it does. That's why nothing gets wet. It's never that cold.
Yeah,
Yeah. But for me, fashion is just fun. Getting dressed can just be fun.
I agree.
So,
I agree with that.
yeah. But speaking
It's
of fashion, wait a second. Did you catch the reunion of Love Island?
all right. Everybody's talking about this show like no show before. I mean,
Right.
everywhere I go,
It's the
you
number
watch
one
them.
show in the country.
Yes. And everybody is talking about it. So I would tell you right now, I'm late to the party on Love Island, and not because I'm boycotting it. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been really busy. So I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna catch up. And I know I'm not gonna have anyone to talk to about it, but I know you have a lot to say about it.
Well, you're really late to the party because the new one's already being made.
I
Well,
am
it's
late.
I do watch it. I do watch Love Island, and it's I feel like I watched the reunion, which there was a big gap of time between the last episode. Excuse me. Can I speak? The last episode and the reunion. They didn't do it quickly. There's a lot of time passed. I really feel like these people need to have like mental health care in line.
Of course.
They're very young and they're thrown into this pressure cooker of heightened emotions with TV and cameras in front of their face, and they are cut off from society. And then some of them are sent home because stuff came up from their past, that they maybe said racial things, and there's this confusion. They're living in this world of confusion, in this bubble, and then they're released and the internet is unleashed on them, and the public has taken sides. The public, as we all know, can be just horrible. And these people, I watched the reunion and I was like, they can barely string a sentence together. Like, they're really not the brightest bulbs in the shed. They are they are young. They are figuring themselves out. They're not very emotionally mature yet. And they're now they have all these trolls in their life and the stardom, and their lives have been turned upside down, and they are a wreck. I mean, I want to say down the line, they're a mess, these kids. And the two that won hardly get any play at all because Amaya and Brian, they're just so genuine and normal and like seem like healthy people. So nobody cares about that, right? Like, they're like, oh, there they are, the winners, the cute people. And then it's like, let's talk about Hurrdat and and the mess she left behind. And I just, you know, And the way they all dressed, because I brought this up because of the fashion, most of the guys didn't wear shirts. Like most of them did not have shirts on. And they had like their chest hair. It was very David Hasselhoff in like suit jackets with chest hair and done hair, like really styled hair. And I was like, who? They're like old people. And all the girls were dressed like beauty pageant contestants. So you have Ariana Madix and Andy Cohen hosting this, which I mean, dream team, and they're styled to the nines. They both have never
Yeah.
looked better. And then they're amongst the sea of people who look like a cheap beauty pageant queens. And it's just, I don't know. I just was blown, and I was proud of the guys in their the risks that they take with their fashion, and they're thinking outside the box. Really like excited about that for them, but definitely scratching my head, going, And Ace, who's on the show, Ace and Shelly, that couple who are just way too serious for life. Like they do not live in their age range. They are like grandma and grandpa, way too serious. And he is a shorter guy, very short in stature, and he's dressed like a leprechaun. He's got like a green suit on. He's got a green suit on with like short. He went for like the short leg pants, the cropped pants,
Yep.
and like gold buttons. And I'm like, what? Oh my God, you just set yourself up for memes. And
That is funny.
yeah, the fashion was like really wild and all over the place. But they can barely talk. They can barely talk. And the reunion just doesn't work for me with this kind of situation. The show is great because you're throwing kids, young people, young adults into this environment where they're mating, and we all want to see it, and they're all hot, and they're all in their bathing suits all the time, and it's drama filled, and it's he said, she said, and all of that. But then when it comes to the reunion to like recap everything, it's like they have no they're just like they have no outlook. It's just so they're all caught up in their emotions, and half of them are angry, mad, and the other ones are like, "Oh, we just love you, and this is we're famous now. It's the best time of our lives." And I just the reunion really doesn't work. And Andy Cohen, having him there, like he holds people to the fire. And that's why we love Andy Cohen. But he just he didn't do that with them. And I don't know if that's like an HR thing. I don't know if it's because they're younger and they are so emotionally, fragile right now. I don't know. But he really didn't, I wanted him, anybody who watched, I wanted him to ask Hurrdat and Ace, like what was behind that challenge when they really pushed boundaries and got down and dirty and got physical with each other out of the blue. No one saw that coming, and nobody brought that up. If you haven't watched it, it's kind of pointless for me to talk about all of this.
No, you aren't doing it for me. You're doing it for everyone else who is thinking exactly what you're thinking. That's why I'm saying just go, because people are watching like crazy and time, because I get asked this question more than anything else about Love Island. Are you watching Love Island? Have you watched Love Island? People ask me every day this question. So I was like, just keep going as you're talking. I'm like, people right now are either shaking their head with you or doing this with you.
Yeah, I mean, it is the number one show watched. Oh my gosh. Okay. It is the number one show in the country right now. So yes, I guess a lot of people will be related.
Where would you rank it with all the shows that you've
I
watched and
mean,
loved? Is it right there at the top of everything you've seen, or is there?
no, it's mind garbage. It's that bad TV.
Yeah.
It's that. My number one show right now is Dexter. They brought Dexter Resurrected back.
Yes.
That, you want to talk about quality TV. I mean, quality show. That's up there with like Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy. It is. I couldn't be more thrilled that they brought it back, and the way they did it. They did a fabulous job. I streamed the whole season so fast, and yeah, just sitting here nail biting, waiting for it to come, just waiting for more to come out. Like that is TV for me.
Awesome.
Dexter. It's just, what a brilliant show. This is top of the line garbage.
Yeah. No, but I'm in for it. That's always,
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to sit there and go, I'm in for the entertainment. I don't know. I always look at people that jump on reality shows, and I imagine initially they do it for the fame, and then they do it maybe for the money. I mean, the money's never as good as people think it is, but I think it's more for the being recognized and what it's going to lead to afterwards. And Basically, it's a sense of fame that these people have never had, and sometimes people bury themselves. So we've seen people have done on reality shows before where that person is known for so and so, and going, that's not exactly what you want to be known for, especially if you get kicked off a show for
Yeah,
something
it's a
you've
big
done. Where
gamble.
it's a gamble. It is,
It's a
and people
gamble.
never think
And
about the negatives.
right, they don't. Because the chance of the positives is so big, right? It's not a huge payday, but it's a bigger payday than probably most of them have seen. They get to be on TV, and then yeah, the endorsement deals after, the money they make when they come out. And but there's this couple on there, Nick and Alandria, and people like rooting for them, and they both are so cringe to me. And they're cringe individually, they're cringe as a couple. I feel like Alandria just wants to be loved. She's like so desperate for love that she's got these blinders on. And Nick just wants to be on TV. So he just feeds into her need. And it's just so disingenuous to me. And I just can't with them. People love them and they love Hurrdat. I love Hurrdat too. Um, love her very much. But those two, I sit there and I'm like, I can't stand it. I wonder if anybody else feels that way. I saw some Reddit stuff, and I know I'm not alone in feeling like he is there. He is such an opportunist, and he is just goes where the clout is, and he just will do anything to be famous and be on TV. And
Yeah,
it's so obvious to me, and I can't. Those are the things that make me not like these shows, because I like the people who are just
yeah,
being unapologetically themselves, whether that's messy or whatever, and they just let us see it all. Those are the characters. Those are the Hurdas. Those are the people that I really like. And I feel like Ace and Shelly, like I said, they're like two old people, and that might be being too kind, because I think maybe old people have a better time than they do. They are just so uptight. They were in it to win it, and they anything outside of like their narrative is wrong. Like they just stare and they just need to loosen up. I just want to shake them both and be like, "Oh my god, you're in your 20s. Fucking
let me ask you,
relax."
when you see people that go into these shows and then it becomes obviously their identity, I mean, which is a lot of them on the show. Teresa from New Jersey, this is her identity, is reality TV now. I mean, look where Teresa's life was before she connected with Bravo, and now she's not only as she made a ton of money and she's become very famous. Like her or hate her, she's been very successful on that show. And then New Jersey, they couldn't get along anymore, and kind of curious to see in the future, like, do they come back and look, there's a lot of money here in this project, we got to figure this out a little bit better. But I look at Jax, that's the one person I want to ask you about, because on the Valley, you saw the reunion, Jax wasn't doing well. We heard before they even aired the reunion that Jax wasn't going to be invited back to so-called his show, right? Which is every show he's on, it's my show. I mean, he made a huge mistake on Vanderpump by saying it. But like a guy like Jax, what happens to a person like that who's now 46 years old? It's become his identity. He obviously has a substance abuse problem. I mean, looking at your guess, it doesn't look like this is going to end well at all, because he's so invested his whole life for this.
Right. Well, I mean, if he had it in him, he could have a redemption story. He really could. If he were to turn his life around and really like get to work on his problems, which probably wouldn't take up as much time as he thinks it would. If he really like dove in and went to a rehab and really like started working on himself without the cameras and without the
Yeah.
attention, and just cut himself off and really like did some serious work, he could come back, and I think people love to see, a leaf turned over and people doing an apology tour, and, you know, um, being accountable for behavior. He has that opportunity. That is on the table for him. The problem is he keeps trying to fake that. He
Yeah, he
keeps trying
does.
to pretend like he does that, and that doesn't work. You have to be authentic. And I think that that's where it divides them between who lasts and who doesn't. You have to be authentic. Otherwise, there's no longevity in it. People
No.
see through you, you can
Uh,
only fake so much, and they see right through you. I mean, look at Orange County, the Housewives. I mean, that Gretchen, she's only on a couple episodes, and already we can see right through it, making up lies. And, and it's making Tamra look good. I mean, it's she looks vindicated, and that's That's hard to do. And I think when you're not authentic and you don't pick a narrative and stick with it, you run into trouble. Um, but the difference is these are grown adults versus young adults on the show, and now you're throwing in, it's surrounding their heart and pulling at their heartstrings and their hormones and
Yep.
their feelings, and it's so magnified, right? It's so much more under a microscope, and so it's just there's so much more emotion, and there's so much more volatile because their hearts are involved and on the line, and all
Couple
that
questions.
money.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, a couple questions about Orange County. One is, they brought Gretchen back. We all knew Gretchen for years, years and years. When Tamara wasn't on the show wasn't as good, in my opinion. As much as I can't stand Tamara, I do like that she's on the show. When she said, "F you guys," and leaves leaves the room in New Orleans and the whole deal, and then you see her at her therapist. As a viewer, and I know you're supposed to feel like you're the only one watching, like, there aren't a million cameras around and producers standing by. What do you think when you see them do a therapy session on TV? Do you feel like this is, a real therapy session, or do you feel this is just for show for the audience?
It's for show for the audience because you can't, a therapist, right? It's supposed to be private. Like you have a signed agreement that things are private. So I know that they probably have to go over what they're going to talk about.
Yeah,
So for me, that always feels
it's phony.
icky. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't like that. But I think a better approach would be shooting them going into their therapy and maybe doing a recap afterwards. Um,
agree.
because it just, but that's reality TV. Yeah, we see Gretchen. Like, did Gretchen say that Tamara drugged her at that party? I mean, this is a big deal, and it's looking like Gretchen said that, and now is trying to backpedal and say I never said that. And Katie and Jen are sitting there going, but you did, but you did, and we're not going to take the fall for you.
Yeah,
Um, but I felt like Gretchen really, like, almost got away with it. She was very smart with the way she played that, and she really, like, took up for them and for Katie, especially Katie. Like, she really took up for her to protect her so that Katie wouldn't rat her out, and, it like, she almost got away with it. She almost got away with it. So this season just got really good. I'm really into it. And I obviously Tamara didn't leave. And I love Tamara's comment about Gretchen's fashion. She's like, she typed in Sheen, smart, like she put an outfit description in Sheen and then just ordered what popped up in the search. And I laughed because I mean, talk about terrible fashion. What are you wearing? And I'm not one to talk. I mean, I really wear strange things too sometimes, but oh my God. Just, yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. And with that paycheck, hire a stylist. Just take it out of your lap and get a stylist.
So that's it's funny. We talk about watching, a ton of TV. You and I have always been TV fans. I think it was one of the things that when we started doing the show, we're going to talk about the stuff we watch, and people are asking me all the time, they go, how do you watch all these shows? And I said, I just always found them fascinating. I'm the only one in my house, by the way, that watches these shows. I look forward to it. My DVR is crazy. Like one of my biggest fears is someone will sit down in my house and go, hey, what do you got on TV? And they hit the DVR button and they just see all these shows and just to look back at me like, what's wrong with you? A lot, a lot's wrong. But I find this kind of TV always entertainment, and that the entertainment, that's what it is. So, overall, just want to get, if you don't mind, get an update on you personally on what's going on with your daughter, her injury, in your life, what's going on with you right now.
Oh, she's doing great. I mean, the difference between when she came home with the cast after surgery to this morning, I mean, like, she walked into my room today with no crutches, just like on her on her little cast, limping around, and I was like, unbelievable. She can maneuver around. She's so strong, so it's easy for her to just like move around, and she's doing fantastic. She
Good.
is healing at light speed, and it's amazing. I've had a lot of time to watch TV because I've been recovering from surgery. And so that's been fun, being able to I got a couple days to just lie there and watch watch garbage and take painkillers. And it was a good time. It was a really good time.
So you got both of you had basically 2 major surgeries in 1 week. I mean, in
Yeah.
the same house, that's unusual.
Yeah, well, yes, and I was like, "Okay, we can do we've got this. This is gonna we'll make this work." And she really got on the mend as I was out. So we really we worked it out because, we're like, we have to fill the Stanley. And I'm like, but I can't open the lid. And she's like, neither can I. I mean, we're passing it back and forth. And it's like we just do what we can, but her strength has really come back. So I haven't had to help her as much. And she's actually been able to help me. And so it all worked out. It all worked out fine.
Okay, well, here's another question, follow-up from a few weeks ago. You were saying when she's a cheerleader and you're going to the football games and the old name of the team, former name of the team was Indians, no longer Indians. You
Yeah.
were saying you like the vintage gear, but you felt weird wearing it. Are you still going to go to the games even though she can't cheer this year?
Not yet. I hope she does. I think she will start. There hasn't been a home game yet, so there's that opportunity hasn't even happened yet. But I'm going to encourage her to. I get it if she
Okay.
doesn't want to do the away games because to get on the bus
Yeah.
and then climb bleachers at school that she doesn't know, all that I get it. But I will encourage her to go to the home games, and I'm sure she's at first, she's like she didn't want to go back to school with the crutches. She was embarrassed. Now she's got 4 other friends that are also on crutches and 2 kids that are in wheelchairs. They're the elevator
What's going on in
gang.
that school?
Like gang, you got it. The gang, the elevator gang at the high school, and it's like it's cute. So I
Yeah.
think it's sort of lightened everything up for her. She doesn't feel so like she's on display in her crutches and so embarrassed. And I think it's sort of taken some of that away for her. So that's good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And you're feeling okay right now? It's been only a few days.
Yeah. I feel really good. I'm excited to have boobs and to throw away the fake boob bra. And, it's kind of amazing. And I go back to also like my nutrition and all the things I do. I saw how quickly I'm healing. These things really do work. It's not it's not by prayer that I heal so quickly and do so well. It's because of the choices I'm making, and it solidifies that for me, and that keeps me going.
Good. I'm glad you're doing well. I mean, just for the audience out there, I'm shocked we're doing a show right now. I thought for sure there's no way you just go. I'm pretty impressed that you're even doing the show right now after having major surgery. So good for you. I mean, good.
Yeah.
You're tough. You always surprise me.
I was at the doctor yesterday and she was asking me about surgeries and everything. And she asked when my last one was. And I was like, Thursday. And she's like, this Thursday? I was like, Thursday, last Thursday. She's like, wait, no, when was your last surgery? And I was like, Thursday. She's like, you're here? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Life goes on, people. Life goes on. But no, I healed really well. Yeah. I prepped my body to heal well. I did all the things and it works.
Also, your pain tolerance must be exceptional compared to a lot of people I know. That's for sure. A lot of people I know, I wouldn't see them for 4 months. I guarantee you.
Yeah. Well, I don't like sitting around being in pain too. That's a mindset, right? That's a mindset of
I
like,
100% think of pain tolerance as a mindset. I do. I have this. Here's a funny thing. I have a buddy of mine who was in the Navy, construction guy his entire life, owns his own construction company now. I've always heard about, he always tells me how tough he is. He had knee replacement surgery and he hasn't stopped complaining about it for 3 years, to the point he needs to have the other one replaced, but he won't go do it. Yet my friend's mother is 75 years old and had 2 knee replacement surgeries, and she was up and moving before you knew it. I'm like, how's that 75-year-old lady made it through 2 of them? You couldn't make it through 1, and you complain like it just happened 2 hours ago. So the mindset of pain tolerance, I think 100%. Either hey, I'm going to move forward, or I'm going to sit there and cry about it. It's
well, that's right.
And
your health has a lot to do with how your body processes pain too. If you're not really super healthy and you don't have like regenerative cell, going on, if you're not constantly working and healing yourself, you're your body's going to struggle through any kind of surgery or pain and stuff like that. But when your body's on this like momentum of healing, healthy,
Yeah.
it processes it better. And the mindset, yeah, I don't want to. Sure, I could sit around and be like, can you get that for me? Or get out of everything and say, I can't go because I can't use my arms. But the truth is, I'll just be bored. I would be bored in bed. Like, I don't want to sit around and be in pain. I'd rather get back to life and be excited and do things. So,
Good.
yeah, it's a
Good deal. No.
combination. It's for sure a combination of things.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. Pretty
Yeah.
amazing. We do have a mailbag for it. We haven't gotten a mailbag in a couple weeks. But if people want to go ahead and they want to submit a question with the mailbag, we always encourage it. Again, it's perfectlytwistedpod.com, and we invite you to ask a question. There's a mailbag at the top of the screen. We have questions from Susan right here today. Okay.
Okay.
First question, Nicole says, do you ever cook with an air fryer?
This is amazing, Susan. This is amazing. I do. I love an air fryer. The problem is that I've not been using mine because I realized it's full of nonstick. And I don't believe obviously cooking with nonstick is terrible. So I'm on the hunt right now for the perfect one that doesn't have nonstick in it, but that also fits in my space, because the space is limited and it's a problem. But I think an air fryer is amazing. I don't condone it because of the nonstick, and we know how toxic and potentially deadly that is. So for that reason, I'm not, but there are alternatives out there. So yes, I think my final answer is an air fryer is a game changer, lifesaver. Throw that microwave away. Don't heat up the whole house with the full oven. Have it done quickly. Air fryer is the perfect. It's a toaster oven on steroids. I mean, it's nothing. It's not a new concept, but people are realizing, oh my God, I could just use this one thing. It doesn't come out soggy like a microwave, and it doesn't take forever to heat up the big oven. And now my whole house is hot, and it's done so quickly. So yeah,
Sure.
Thumbs up to air fryers.
All right. Nicole, have you ever considered getting a restraining order? Have you ever had to get a restraining order?
I have.
Not shocked.
I have. I had to get one when I started speaking out about my abuse. He hired a crisis manager who I found out the guy's name because I was getting trolled so heavily and threats, and it just became crazy. And he had written a book. So of course I read the book to know what to expect from this crisis manager. You got to be one step ahead of the game. And so I realized what his game plans were and what he was all about. And I had gone down to get a restraining order against him just because he was threatening like real life stuff. Seemed like it was going to happen in real life, and it was being taken off of the internet, and it was going to affect me personally, physically. So I did get a restraining order.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I imagine a lot of celebrities end up having to get restraining orders, unfortunately, at some point or another, Wow. Next question, Nicole, would you rather be friends with someone who's confrontational or non-confrontational?
Non-confrontational. I like people who are open and honest and say, like, speak in the moment about how they
Yeah, I mean,
feel.
it doesn't mean they have to be confrontational with you. I mean, but they'll confront people. Let's say you're out in public and you're like, hey, what are we doing? We're at Bob's Big Boy. You're going to be confrontational here.
Yeah. I don't like it. That's like drama, and that's like people looking for a fight. That's like you have issues you've not dealt with. No, no. I like honesty. I like directness. I like openness. I like communication. You can say how you're feeling. I won't be insulted. But confrontation, you're leading into like that's somebody looking to pick a fight, right?
I look at it two different ways. It's funny as I listen to you speak about it and just reading the question. I look at someone who's non-confrontational. I also don't like to watch someone get walked over. It's one of my biggest turnoffs when I watch someone be taken advantage of and they just let it go. It bothers me. But also, I'm not looking for someone that's always looking for a fight either. That's exhausting.
That's exhausting. And, sometimes I think when you look at someone and you're like, they're getting walked over, they could be, or they could be choosing to just not give it any energy.
Yeah.
I'll do that quite a bit. I'll just Sure.
Yeah.
And just keep
Yeah.
moving because it's not worth my energy. It's not worth my time.
You don't have to get
It
involved
doesn't
in every
mean that
fight.
they're right.
Yeah.
Huh?
You don't have to get involved in every disagreement, every fight. It's not
No,
worth your energy.
not at
Yeah.
all. Or try to correct anybody's opinion on me or anything like that. Whatever, or their opinion on anything for that matter. Not my business. I got no dog in the game. And the thing is that that's more mentally healthy. And it doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that they got one over on me. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means I'm not involving myself and I'm not giving that any of my power, really.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh, Fourth question, Nicole, what types of posts on social media annoy you the most?
I suppose political posts,
Yeah.
because you're really not getting anywhere. You're not changing anybody's mind. You're really on there to argue. This kind of this circles back right into the previous question. You're there to argue. And like, don't you have something better to do than sit here and argue about something that fine, that's what you believe, that's what you think. Good. Go do your day. You're not going to change somebody else's perspective. And people's minds are made up and that's it. So I guess, really trolling in any form is my least favorite thing because you're just an angry person behind a keyboard and you're taking it out on the rest of the world.
Yeah, I'm with you on the political posts. You aren't going to change anyone's opinion ever. I don't even understand the arguments. I don't understand why anybody even posts anything political. It's an interesting game. I was going through, I don't go through Facebook a lot, but I was going through Facebook the other day and I saw someone I went to high school with who, no joke, was the dumbest person in high school. Like he was, nothing he ever did made sense. Just everyone knew he was a big dumb guy. And he writes this whole political post. And as soon as he starts, I'm like, oh no. That's the first thing
Yeah.
to my head. I'm like, you're the dumb guy. Whatever is in this post, I'm going opposite because I know how dumb you are. And I just shake my head. And then I look to see who liked this. Like I had to go through his likes to go, who liked this? Who's following this idiot?
Yeah.
And it was all family members. You know what I mean? It was all
Yeah.
neighbors, family. It was no one that had a brain that I was like, okay, see, this guy hasn't gotten any better, but he's surviving in the world. And the world needs people like that because it makes me feel better about myself that I'm not the dumbest guy on the planet. But I was like, dude, I
Yeah.
remember you back in the 80s. You were dumb as a rock. You still are. You just showed everybody you're dumb as a rock. But the
Dumb as a
political
rock.
posts are crazy. To think that you're going to change someone's opinion is nuts.
Well, so like this perfect example, like to circle to what you just said, a woman wrote a comment on one of my posts. And I was talking about that there was nobody getting their chemo treatment when the ice raids were happening. And she writes that it's because this is the only country you can get cancer treatment. And I had to answer this one. I had to.
Yeah,
I
you
could
have to.
not let
Yeah.
this one go because this is an easy Google search, lady.
Yeah.
And I said to her, you have to do me a favor and do a Google search. Like chemo is worldwide.
Yeah.
And she literally came back and said, "Oh, you're right. I had no idea." And then
Yeah,
went on to
terrible.
tell me something about the laws. And I said, listen, you cannot expect me to listen to anything you have to say when you just thought that America was the only place you could get chemotherapy and cancer treatment. I can't listen to anything you have to say. And I really suggest you do more reading than ranting. And she agreed with me. She, at the end of the day, that she said, yeah, and I also
Really?
need to stop doing voice to text. Yeah, she went on. And I was
Wow.
like, this was a productive
It was.
conversation.
I'm
But
shocked.
I mean, something so simple as can you get chemotherapy in other countries? That's something you've got to shake
Yeah.
somebody on that one. You got to slap
Yeah.
them across the face and go, hello, wake up. And this woman learned something that day, but
Yeah.
that's the level we're talking about. You want to turn around and tell me about something like you're that sheltered, like, but you think I'm going to believe that you know about the Constitution? I'm so,
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
wild.
Here's a good last question from Susan. Nicole, where are you most comfortable when you're outside of your home? I bet
Oh,
I
the
can guess.
beach.
I
Yeah,
knew
the
you were gonna
beach.
say beach.
Just
Yep.
lay there and be one with the earth. I know that sounds so corny, but it is there is not a problem in the world when I'm at the beach. And, my parents are in the water, and I'll be there. And it's just a place where everything is just at peace. It's calm. It's like home.
Yeah.
I love it there.
That's it. It's perfectlytwistedpod.com. That's the website. Again, the mailbag's at the top of the screen. You can do like Susan and get those questions in, and Nicole will answer them. I do have a question.
Those were great. Those were great questions, by the way, Susan. Thank you. Thank you for those.
Absolutely. All right. I do have a question about what you just said. Just curious, has nothing to do with anything. When you put someone's ashes in the ocean, do you have to charter a boat to go out a certain distance? Yeah, by law, right? You can't just check them in as the waves are coming in.
I mean, I don't know who's going to stop you, to be honest. If you can't afford it, and that's where somebody needs to be. I'm one to tell you. So my dad, we chartered the boat. We did it all. We got the permit. We did all of that, right? My mom didn't want to be in the ocean. She didn't like the ocean. She wanted to be in the sand. In her favorite spot. So I didn't tell anybody. We just went and dug a hole, sat in our usual spot, dug a hole and put her in. And so,
that's interesting.
If that's where somebody wants to be, you just make it happen.
So your mom had a favorite spot that she took you to on the beach, and you knew exactly where to go.
Yeah. Well, it was my spot.
Yeah.
And I think my mom started going to that spot to because she's just so nosy. But it was my spot growing up, and then she adopted it later, and she would go to the beach even without us. I mean, she was a beach person too. So that was, we have a spot, and she's there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that one though before, the sand. That's interesting. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hey, nice. All right, there you go. I'm glad that you're back. It felt good enough to do a show today. So I just appreciate that you're here, and I wish you the best in the next week.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy. It was one of those surgeries that it was so long overdue. Do you know, and just for anybody that knows anything about implants, I was in so much pain and nobody could really understand because of the expander that they had put in me. The doctor said when he pulled it out, it was a 800 cc size expander. And it was so large in there that it was folded up. Anybody who doesn't really understand 800 cc's, I'll just tell you, my boobs, my breast implants that I had before all of this nonsense happened were 150 cc's.
Wow.
150. He put in an 800 cc expander, and expanders are hard plastic. And I had been living with that for a year. So to get that out is such relief. So I'm on cloud 9, to be honest. I'm just like, woo, that's out of me, and I don't have to wear a fake boob, and So yeah, life is good.
Good. Yeah. Holy cow. How do you even sleep? Wasn't the pressure driving you crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. And the doctor said he was surprised that it didn't pop through my skin because it was putting so much pressure on my skin. Yeah. It was, and I finally was seen and heard by this doctor because he was like, oh my God. When I first took my shirt off, he was like, oh my God, what is that? And no other doctor had said that. They were all like, yeah, it's too large. But he was blown away by it. And I was like, this is my doctor. This is my guy. He gets it. So, yeah. He was like, you're not going to believe this. It was an 800 cc expander in you.
That's amazing.
Giant.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. And again, I'm glad you're here today.
Yes. Great to be here. Great seeing everyone. And we will see you next week.